considering a hair system, but you're completely baffled by the price differences. You jump online, one supplier's charging $250, one salon's charging $1,000, and then there's that sketchy site like Temu who's offering toupees for $99. So what's the difference? Why do prices vary so much? And what are you actually paying for? In this video, we're going to be looking at why hair system pricing is the way it is so that you can make an informed decision about your hair and your wallet. Most guys are quite surprised when they get informed of how much a hair system costs. They usually, as a first point of call, go to a salon, they get it fitted, they get a quote, and their jaw drops to the ground. Don't worry guys, I was in that situation myself. And then about 6 months into my journey, I started looking online at hair systems. And there was such a massive price differential, and I was like, how can there be such a huge difference? Well, part of it's like walking into Waterstones, seeing a book that you like, it's priced at $25, and then going home, hitting up Amazon, and then finding exactly the same book for $11 cheaper. It's literally the same book, right? I'll give you another example. Yesterday, I went into town, I went into a sports shop to buy some new trainers. I got them fitted, I made sure they're comfortable. I paid about $115 for them, but then I went home and I found exactly the same trainers for $30 cheaper. Now, in that case, it's kind of understandable because I needed to get those shoes fitted. I was spending a lot of money on them. I needed to make sure they're comfortable. You can't really do that online. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that with salons, you're paying for a combination of product, expertise, and for many people, convenience. They've also got higher overheads, they've got staff that they need to pay, rent on the property, utilities, and of course they build that into their pricing. On top of that, salons include installation, regular rebonds, and regrooms. That of course keep the system looking super fresh, but it adds to the overall longer term costs. So remember, when you're comparing a quote that you get from a salon with a quote that you get from a company online, you're not comparing apples to apples. One's a full service, the other one is a product that you manage yourself. Obviously, you pay a stylist to cut it in for you, but everything else you do yourself. Now, if you're focusing just on the hairpiece itself, and anyone who orders online like I do, you will be well aware of this. There's certain bases that are more expensive than other bases. There's certain types of hair that are more expensive than other types of hair. And I'm going to tell you why these prices vary. So the first question you may have is, why is lace more expensive than poly? The answer is quite simple, really. Every single knot in that lace base is hand tied. It requires time and skill and expertise, and that drives up the cost. Polys, on the other hand, are way quicker to produce, and they're far less time consuming for the experts who are making these systems. So if you see a lace base priced higher than a poly base, this is why. It's more labor intensive, it's more hours, it requires more expertise. Remember that process of ventilating each strand by hand. That's literally thousands of knots tied one by one. And actually, when you think about it, it's actually a miracle that lace bases aren't even more expensive than what they already are. Now we're going to look at the hair itself. I'd say the most common hair you find in the hair system industry is Indian Remy hair. And it's really good. This is Indian Remy hair. A huge majority of the systems that I wear, if you've been watching my videos for a while, I have Remy hair. Why? Because it's durable, it holds texture well, and when processed properly, it looks great. But if you're looking to go better than Remy hair, you're going to need to pay more. So European version hair is one which is becoming ever more increasingly popular just because there's more of it available. It's not processed, there's finer strands, the cuticles are intact, and it gives a much more natural flow. The hair lands more naturally. And even though it is becoming more popular, it is still moderately rare. LaVivid do sell some systems which contain European hair. Yes, it's a bit more pricey, but the colors are more limited because it's not processed, it's not dyed at all. So you really are paying for a premium product. Remember, anything that you see aside from that European version hair is processed, is put in acid baths, and that's why quite often after a couple of months, you may start to notice some gingery undertones. You do not get that with European version hair, so they last longer. So when you're comparing hair systems, don't just look at the price. Look at what kind of hair you're paying for and what kind of hair you want. Personally, in my opinion, Remy hair, Indian Remy hair, is absolutely fine for pretty much everyone. A majority of LaVivid's hair systems are Remy hair. I'd need to double check, but I'm pretty sure Bono and Lord Hair, pretty sure all of their or most of their hair systems are Remy hair. But always make sure that you check in the description box beneath each system. There's usually a spec which basically tells you what type of hair it is, the density, that kind of thing. It's always worth checking. Now let's talk about price differentials once you've got the system. Now if you're going through a salon, you're going to be looking at needing to get rebonds or regrooms as they call them at the longest once a month. So that could set you back usually over $100 every 4 weeks. Now, in many ways, it's great. They provide all of the accessories, the glues, the tapes, they do everything for you. It comes at a cost to your wallet. And some people like that and they're fine with that, and that's cool. It has to work around your lifestyle. If you can afford it and it's not straining you in any way financially and you just want it to be easy, that can be a really good route for you. If, like me, you're looking at that money and thinking, you know what, that could get me a really nice holiday in Cyprus, and I'd rather spend that money there, learning to do the maintenance yourself and ordering the systems yourself is the best way forward for you. And that's exactly why I built the Hair System Maintenance Bootcamp, which is your A to Z roadmap to become proficient at maintaining your system, taking care of your system, ordering your systems, ordering all of your accessories, and dealing with all of the situations that life throws at you whilst wearing a system. If you're curious about that, I'll link it in the description box below. And trust me, after about a month, you'll realize it pays for itself. Now, in this part of the video, I want to shift the conversation from cost to value. The truth is, a $300 system looks the same as a $1,000 system. As long as you're willing to take responsibility for ordering your system and maintaining your system. That doesn't include getting the new systems cut in. It means taking care of your system, avoiding too much overexposure to the sun, taking responsibility for ordering your own glues and tapes, shampoos and conditioners. And I guarantee if you follow those principles, instead of getting 3 months out of a system, you're going to be getting 5 months out of a system. And this is where I want to shout out to LaVivid Hair, because they've struck that perfect balance between premium quality and accessible pricing. Their stock systems use premium Indian Remy hair. With some of their systems, they also offer the European version hair option for those who want more premium hair, who are willing to spend a bit more. They also supply every adhesive, bond remover and accessory that you'll need. And if you use my code ADAM15, you can get a 15% discount on any of those products. Now, for my UK viewers, there are some products that LaVivid just can't ship to the UK. The ones with lots of liquid, like shampoos, or for instance, their semi-permanent dye, got to be natural. There is another supplier that I use, and that is in the description box below. They don't do hair systems, they just focus on accessories. So let's sum this up. When you're buying a hair system, you're not just paying for hair, you're paying for the base material and the craftsmanship, the quality and origin of the hair. But also, if you see a huge differential, it's probably because you're comparing prices you see when you order direct online with quotes that you're getting from salons. That's the biggest differentiator. And at the top of this video, I explained why there is such a big differential. So the choice is yours, what route you want to take. Because understanding this breakdown means you'll never get ripped off and you'll get far more out of your investment. Now, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. I offer no nonsense advice on how to live confidently with a hair system. Don't forget that LaVivid discount code if you're going to get yourself a hair system. And if you want to become an absolute boss, save yourself a ton of money every single year, learn to do your maintenance. How can you do that? By joining my bootcamp. It's the single fastest way to save money on a hair system. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, knowledge isn't just power, knowledge is savings.